Hey, what's up everyone? Chip Walters here, and let's talk a little bit more about kit ops and inserts and how we create inserts. So I've created this environment. It's a very simple environment, as you can see, pretty straightforward. It's got a little background here of an outside scene that we will use when we cut a hole in the back area with a window so we can see through that. So let's talk about this. A couple things. First off, if we look at this object, we'll see that it's about 20 feet in the Y direction, 11 feet high, and 16.6 feet in the X direction. So it's actually modeled to scale. If we go in here and we look at our units, we'll see that we're set to imperial. So now you can obviously change this to metric if you like. So if I go into kit ops, these are models that were created by the beta testers from my Definitely EV Definitive Interiors course over there on Gumroad. And that's where you can actually learn to set up an interior like this if you'd like. I asked my beta testers if they would provide some models for me. I would actually show them how to turn them into kit ops inserts. And so that's kind of what this series is about. So let's quickly just grab the chair with our object select. We'll put it right here. What I'm going to do is I've got this set to auto scale large. If I add the insert here, you'll see that it comes in really big. I can hit the S button and I can scale it down if I want, but that's really not what I want. I'm going to delete this. I really want to turn off auto scale because this is actually the kit ops EV feet. I've got two different K packs here. I've got the feet one and I've got the course one. This is all metric and it's not necessarily to scale, but I know for a fact that the EV feet one is to scale. So I'm going to basically turn off auto scale and I'm going to select my floor plan again. And I'm going to add the insert, and now I know that we're at the exact right scale. So I can take this, I can rotate it about the Z 180, and I can push it back into this wall here. And now I actually have a material for this. So if I go into my materials, I can actually delete these and I can add a special chair material. It's kind of a metal material that I had set up earlier. So now that we have this in place, let's zoom out and let's know that we want to put one over here, so I can actually go through the same process, or I can just say, let's mirror this about the Y-axis. Now we have one over in here, so that's great. Okay, next I'm going to add this picture. Come and click on this, and I'm going to add the picture again with auto scale off. I'm going to add it right in here above the chair. And I'm going to zoom in, and again, it's stuck it directly on the wall. And if we were to look at this, you'll see that it's just a tad bit off the wall. And if we look at the chair, we see the chair is directly on the floor. And of course, again, as we did with the chair, we will mirror this about the Y-axis, and now the picture's on the other side as well. So that's pretty cool. So the whole idea is that when you use kit ops with these inserts, you can attach them anywhere you want. So let's continue forward. I'm going to grab this wall lamp. And lastly, we're going to add one more lamp, which is this lamp. And I'll select this object here. And with this, I'll add the insert right here. And this is actually a little bit bigger in the natural scale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hit the S button and I'm going to scale it down to where I know it's going to fit in this environment. This one, we're going to mirror across the Y. This one, we mirror across the Y. And this one we mirror across the Y. So if I go look over here, I've got all my same architectural objects over here. Okay, so now let's get to the fun part. Let's put in a window. So I'll come in here, I'll find the window, and we're going to stick it over here. So we'll select the object we're going to put it on, and we'll click Add Insert, and we'll drag it over here, and we'll drop it right there. And as you can see now, we've cut a hole in that wall. And if we go around to the back, there's our window. We have this plane out here that's got a photograph on it that we're using for our night scene. See how cool that is. And of course, then I can turn off my auto select insert, come in here and click on this, and we know we want that to be the casing. And this, we're going to make that casing as well. And now we have our window nicely placed directly into that wall. We can do the same thing with the door. Click on the door, move it out, click over here, and we'll add the insert for the door right here, and I can move it down. It's already set at the proper scale, and we'll select this and we'll make the painted Select both of these, and we'll say under here, copy material to select it. There we have it. So that's the power of using KitOps and KitOps inserts, is that not only can we place things on the floor, ceiling, and walls, but we can also actually cut holes directly into the objects. As I look around it, you'll see that I'm starting to get reflections right off that glass, and that's because we're using the glass EV shader that you can get free on Gumroad also. So now let's go and let's talk a little bit about how we create these inserts using KitOps Pro. So let's use this model to show how we're going to create an insert that cuts into a wall. This is a built-in oven. It's created by Mono. It's got a CC0 license. Thank you, Mono. Just a note that when I import this into Blender, there was some texturing that had to be done to make it EV compatible. Now that we have our oven set up, we need to turn it into a KitOps insert, and that's very simple. We're just going to save it in a KPack. So I'm going to go Save As. I will go into this EV Foot KPack, and I'm going to save it as an oven.blend. And as soon as I do that, over here in KitOps, you'll see that we now are in the factory mode. So now I'm going to select everything. I'm going to rotate it around the X, RX minus 90. Just move this up to be right about there. We're going to have this actually sticking out of the wall about that much, right about there. So let's look at that. That'll work good. So now what I want to do is I want to look at every one of these objects, and I want to make sure that the rotation and the scale is set for each one. And it needs to be 0, 0, 0, and scale 1, 1, 1. So Control A, rotation and scale. So now we have them all set. So now that we've scaled them, we have the problem that the actual textures scaled with them also. So I'm going to fix this real quick, and we'll speed through this process. Okay, now we're fixed with our textures. So now we're going to have to create the hole that this is going to go into. So that's not going to be that hard. Shift S, make sure that our cursor is set to the world or origin. It is. And we'll say Shift A, mesh, give me a cube. Tab into this and scale it. And I want to scale this so that it goes around this box here. And there we have it. Tab back out of here, and I'm going to go into the KitOps mode, and I'm going to turn this into our main object. This is our negative object, and I'm going to make it a cutter. Once I've done that, I'm going to say File, Save, and let's go to another version of Blender. We've opened up a different instance. Let's move this really big so we can see what we're doing here. And I'm going to go into KitOps, and I need to, in my preferences, I'm going to need to make sure that I go into my file paths and refresh this so I get to see the insert show up here. So we'll keep going until we see this. This is the oven. We haven't built a thumbnail for it yet, but that's fine. We'll keep this selected. We'll add the insert. We'll move it over here, scroll the wheel, click, turn it on, and you can see that we were able to successfully cut a hole directly into this cube with this new oven. One of the things that you may find that you may have trouble with if you're having problems with multiple booleans is you probably want to go in and do a Control A. In here you can say A. Notice we had auto parenting here. Make sure that we select this as the last one. We can turn this off, and we can say Control P and just set parent to object. So let's save this. And now that we've saved it, Control S, we will render the thumbnail. In this particular case, I may want to manually set it up, so I'm going to hold the Shift key down and click the Render Thumbnail button. It's actually pretty good. I can say G, Y, and move it over kind of in the middle, G, X. There you go, something like that. And then hit the Render Thumbnail button again. And now that it's finished, I can say File, Revert. Remember, we always want to revert after we do this. And here's our thumbnail. We see the little light. We'll go back to our cube object, come back in here, refresh. So we're going to refresh the thumbnail. And now with the thumbnail refreshed, we see we have our oven right here. So I'll select this. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to add the insert here. And you're going to see that some of the materials came over and some of them didn't. This is a bug in the way KitOps currently works in 2.8. There is still some work being done to the materials in Blender 2.8, and this was working previously. It's not now, but it's a pretty easy way to fix this is we'll just go over here and we'll turn auto select insert off. We select first one object with material, and we select the second one, and we will go under object, make links, materials, and we can just keep doing this. Control L will also do the same thing. And there we have it. This will probably be fixed in a new version. Right now, as you know, we are working with version 1.08 commit 716. So that should just about do it for now. I hope you enjoyed these lessons. We'll see you online.